and welcome to another Google Business Buzz. Thank you for joining us. I'm here again with my brother Jay. How are you, sir?
Henry, I'm doing fantastic, man. It's great to be back with you to all of our viewers and listeners. I'm excited to be in front of you again. We've got an exciting one. Henry, why don't you tell them what's on the menu for today?
Well, that we do. It's very exciting. We have side of local service ads and the main course, Google Ads, of course. That is what brings in the big bucks for Google itself. So let's dive in. Let's see what updates we have because everything is continuing to change and we can't stop educating folks about these changes. So, Jay, let's dive into LSA. What do you have for us?
Oh man, huge update on the LSA side to come out just a few weeks ago. So, on LSA, Google Guaranteed, Google Screen, license verified by Google, the green badge, for all of those paid leads, you guys, in the past, there was a manual dispute process where for every single lead that went through, you could go in there and either on your mobile app or on your desktop and dispute the lead for a potential credit, right? This is a huge selling point of LSA to differentiate it from Google ads, to differentiate it from Meta ads, to differentiate from all those other competing platforms out there. And so recently, that manual process just became automatic. So get this, now there's a machine listening to every single call on the LSA platform, except the medical verticals. We're not allowed to listen to that for HIPAA, but I digress. Listening to every single call. And that system will automatically determine if the lead is charged or not charged. So get this. What it really means is you don't have to go in there and manually dispute your leads anymore because bad calls are going to happen. They happen on LSA, they happen on Google Ads, they happen on no matter how well you set these ads up. Consumer behavior is consumer behavior. You're going to get bad calls. That's reality. The thing is, most of your calls will be good. That'll make it worth it. But now for those slim chunk of bad calls, you don't have to do anything. You just have to pay attention, number one, to see which ones are getting automatically credited. And I kind of lied there with not doing anything. Part B of this update is also rating your leads. So instead of going in there and manually disputing your leads now, I want you all to think of interfacing with this giant smart robot. I'm joking, but same premise. You're now interacting with the machine. Machine learning and AI are here, guys, and it's here in LSA on a big way. Now you can teach that machine what about this lead? Was it good or bad? Why was it good or bad? So on and so forth. And that will, in theory, influence your leads in the future. So this is a big step for tech, integrating it into this is 2024 and 2025 and beyond is really when we're making good of that term martech, right? Marketing technology. Before we've been mostly digital marketing as an industry, and now we're really stepping into martech with when you're seeing these thoughtful and sensible infusions of AI and machine learning into product. And Google is doing it in a big way for LSA. So that's huge. That's a mouthful. Before we move on to the other stuff, I'm just gonna let you digest that, Henry. What do you think of that? What do you think of this update for small to medium sized businesses? Where does your mind go?
Yeah. So I really do think that Google found this disputing leads process either not being used or being used excessively and wrong, right? And being able to cash in on actual legitimate leads. So using their technology, they're the leaders in AI. They're going to improve on this process. I've spoken with business owners that, you know, have had instances where they gone in, they disputed a lead, they thought it was legitimate, and Google immediately rejected that dispute. Done it two, three times, and after those immediate rejections, you're not going to continue to dispute the lead. So now with the AI there and having the opportunity to give them feedback through that rating feature, it should be an improvement, to be honest, because as it stands or as it standed as what a month or two ago, it wasn't getting adopted as it should have.
100%. When you have a manual process like this, guys, I want you to think at scale to all of our listeners, viewers. Don't just imagine your business on LSA, imagine the thousands of businesses on local services ads. and there's thousands and millions of calls coming in. Now, when a subset of people are like, "Hey, Google, these leads are bad. I disputed them and you denied them." There's no real learnings happening there at scale. There's a clunky human process where, we on the agency side are having to go back and dispute these decisions with Google, or you're going to have to call into Google support if you're not working with a trusted partner. And it's hard to learn at scale. Now, when you inject the tech in so well, the benefit is learning and adoption at scale. So really, in theory, this machine is going to be able to adapt, right? It's going to be able to adapt for geo-verticalized markets. So it's going to be able to learn what makes a lawyer lead, a criminal attorney lead in Seattle good versus what makes a plumbing lead in Detroit, Michigan bad, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be able to learn based on your specific account, your specific inputs, where you want to serve, when you want to run, so on and so forth. And so it's really a better way of doing things, because I agree with you, Henry. That way you described, the old way of doing this, is just bad user experience. It's going to turn people off of the feature. It's going to make them think it doesn't work, and it's going to get them frustrated. And it's really something that's outdated that Google had to update. I also think you're right as to the root cause. I mean, obviously, we don't know for sure. Google's Google, but pretty safe bet that some people were using this feature disputes way too much, and some people were not disputing enough. And so to balance this out, it's disputing leads is a huge sell for Google, guys, for local services ads. It's a huge boon to you, the small to medium sized enterprise. And the more people that are using this, that are benefiting this from scale, the better for Google, because they get to tout that as, hey, local services ads is one of the few advertising platforms in the world where we'll credit back your bad leads. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal for your pocketbook. It's a big deal for your business. It's a big deal for your stress levels. And that's part of the one of many reasons why we like pushing it so much for our clients who are eligible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with that in mind, with the AI and machine learning topic in mind, let's transition over to LSA's sister, Google Ads, and how Performance Max is seeing also some updates. I believe Performance Max has been around now for 3 years, maybe a little more, and the iterations continue, right? There can't be a stagnant approach to marketing, to advertising. Like Ajay said, this is technology at the end of the day, and they have to integrate their own tech into their products. So, tell us a little bit about how Google Ads and Performance Max is changing, and what are the big updates there?
Oh, huge updates specifically to Performance Max. So, what's new is really that negative keywords. You can now add those into Performance Max campaigns, and that's going to help you refine your targeting by excluding specific search queries on campaign levels. So, what this really means, y'all, is more control and more customization. Now, obviously, shifting over from this traditional search angle of Google Ads into this new machine learning AI base. So hint, hint, you're seeing this trend, the same one we just talked about on LSA. You're seeing the same shift happen on the Google Ads side, where they're trying to promote PMax. They're trying to promote adoption of Google's algorithms and turning over more control. And it may be uncomfortable now, but we got to trust that it's for the benefit of the user. Google doesn't make these decisions lightly. They tend to think long term in terms of benefit to the user. And so the real benefit for our viewers and listeners is that PMax just got better. You just got the ability to have a skilled marketing professional go in there and add negatives. And I mean, that's huge. That's a level of control we didn't have before. That's a level of refinement we didn't have before. And it just makes the case even more compelling for those of you with budgets out there who need calls now, who need paid lead engagement now. If you've got the budget for it, you probably want to be on LSA to tackle the old search aspect, the phone calls, and you probably want to be on PMax for that omni-channel approach where you're spreading across different Google properties, enjoying those cost savings of being on of being everywhere at once. Being on those different campaign types that you get access to, different networks that you get access to. It's more broad than just like an LSA or a traditional search campaign. You get to be in a lot more places, and that comes with a lot more power.
Completely, completely. When you say a lot more places, it's incredible what they've done with Performance Max. They've literally combined all of their platforms into that one ad type. It's Google Search, it's Google YouTube ads, it's Google Gmail, it's the Discovery ads, and am I missing something here?
Did you say search as
One
well? I
more.
think you said
Didn't
search as
say
well, but there
search.
is a
Yes,
search
yes,
component
yes.
for what
There
it
is
can
a search
afford.
component, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's actually best practices. If you're running a performance max, you want to run a search campaign as well. It goes hand in hand. It actually states that in their document. So, pro tip, if you're running a pro max or performance max, excuse me, do a search campaign as well. Now, we know how much the advertising side has changed and it continues to evolve and how important it is. And when you talk about a multi-channel approach and all of these different platforms into one, this is a result of our, I've said it before, consumer behavior changing and consumers having more options and being more places. Um, eyes equal dollar signs, right? And so that's what Google wants to capitalize on. They know that people are on YouTube, they know that people are on Gmail, and if you can get a little ad there on that Gmail account of something that you already saw that you were already interested in, you go for it. Um, Performance Max uses audience signals, right? They know what kind of user the advertiser is trying to target, and they go for them. They target these people based on the goals. So it's totally different world than it was 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, and we have to stay up on these things.
In a nutshell, very much agreed. In a nutshell, what I kind of extracted from that is that the audience-based targeting is big for Performance Max, and that's kind of pulling a leaf from Meta's book. I think we said it last time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
also the cost efficiencies. I mean, included in there, what I want our viewers and listeners to extract from that as well is that Henry said email. I mean, or Gmail ads too. Think about it, guys. Email marketing is something I know this is a podcast about. This specific episode or topic is Google ads and LSA, Google paid advertising. Fine, fine, fine. But email marketing is something we don't talk about enough, and why we at OMG National, we have a really nice product that is focused around that, because it's one of the cheapest ways to get the most bang for your buck, because it's just that efficient. And so to tell me that that's included in Performance Max, to tell me that YouTube ads are included, to tell me that discovery ads are included, to tell me that okay, you're going to be on the the search and display networks and all take advantage of all the Google networks. I mean, it's a lot to take in for those of you who are maybe not keeping up with this as much, who have just shifted from search on Google Ads to LSA, local services ads campaigns, to now we're telling you there's a new campaign on Google Ads, that or newer campaign that is being refined, that you gotta pay attention to. But guess what? It's all for our benefit, because customer behavior is changing, and people want to have their cake and eat it too. And
hmm
and that's getting harder to do with the older approaches, man. And so we got to adapt. And is it going to be uncomfortable at first? Sure. Are we going to learn and get better as this tech refines? Heck yeah. I can't imagine how good Google's automatic crediting for local services ads is going to be in 2 to 3 years. How refined and efficient Performance Max campaigns will be in 2 to 3 years. Are they perfect now? No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that they're here, they're important, and they're going to get better. And you know what? Think of them as tools. Think of them as tools in your tool bag, that in the hand of a with a skilled professional digital marketing partner behind you, they can use those tools to your benefit to save you money. And let's be real, the economy changes, life changes. It's not the easiest time out there right now. I know a lot of businesses listening to us are hurting and could, want to do more with a smaller budget. And that's even better of a reason right now to think very careful about where those dollars are being invested and what the return is. And so you don't want to be running a one-dimensional approach, an outdated approach, putting all of your eggs in one basket, being wasteful, running a search campaign when you don't necessarily have the appropriate budget for it, or running a PMax campaign when that's not necessarily appropriate for your industry. You want to be talking to someone that knows what they're doing, that is trustworthy and that is guiding you. Hint, hint, Google Premier partners. So you want to talk to someone that is, vetted and credible. And that's it's really a lot of what Henry and I are here to do. We're here to look out for you guys, to offer you the latest and greatest tips, how this industry is changing, how that affects you. And I think the takeaway from the LSA side: mark your leads in the dashboard, rate your leads, excuse me, rate your leads. It's going to be super important. From the Google Ads side, please talk to your strategist about Performance Max. Please talk to them about the efficiencies gained here and the appropriate budget here, and let's take those for a spin if they're relevant to you.
Completely. So, shameless plug. It is Google Ads and LSA month here at OMG National. So, call us up 800-789-4619 and we'll sign you up on one or both of our amazing advertising products. omgnational.com as well. Visit our website. Like, comment, subscribe, share, please. We do this with love. We try to keep the jargon low and the knowledge and the information high. So, thanks everybody for your time and for listening to us as always. Jay, it was great doing this with you.
Henry, likewise, brother. It's always a pleasure. And to our viewers and listeners, it's lovely to be in front of you again. See, even my kid's excited. So have a good one,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.